especially as we move into our next segment for the Cinephiles. So
Hey.
Garcia Hiram, Hiram Garcia, is producer for upcoming action film on Netflix. Got announced 2 years ago with Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then Garcia actually gave an update on a bunch of other Dwayne properties or projects like Jumanji 3, Big Trouble in Little China, which he confirmed is also not going to be a reboot. It'll be something contained in that universe. So to just kind of continue after that John Carpenter feel, and like some other ancient threat has come, and Dwayne Johnson's character, The Rock, will have to tackle it.
Nice.
But yeah, we had not heard about Red Notice in a while, so hearing that it's possibly on slate to come in 2022 is kind of cool. Ryan Reynolds will be playing an Interpol agent trying to track down The Rock and Gal Gadot as famous art thieves. That's the premise for that. It says it's the most expensive and/or going to be the biggest Netflix movie ever made.
Neat.
So we shall see.
We got some good news for South Park fans. South Park has been confirmed to get 14 movies and renewed up to season 30. So Comedy Central's primary animation juggernaut from creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone is getting 14 new movies, and the series, which is already currently in season 23, will last at least until season 30, confronting the likes of Gunsmoke and The Simpsons. So it's getting up there. Kenny and I talked about this like briefly before the show. 14 movies sounds like a lot, but what I hypothesize is what they're actually referring to as like TV movies, which is usually like a double feature, maybe a triple feature at best. Looking back to like, stuff like the Teen Titans movie, which was, like the 3 episodes comprising the stuff concerning Trigon.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So when they say fit like movies, I'm thinking like double feature episode, maybe triple feature episode, where they simply have a storyline that doesn't have to be resolved in 22 minutes.
Yeah, I think of a lot like Imagination Land, the 2-parter there. Or,
Mm-hmm.
no, that was 3 parts. I think it's 3 parts because they were trying to do another movie,
Mm-hmm.
and Comedy Central didn't greenlight it, but they said it ended up just being that mid-season finale,
Yeah.
and they ended up doing that over 3 episodes. So
Yeah.
yeah, they've already got a formula for it
Mm-hmm.
with it. So yeah, they definitely should be able to do that. And
Absolutely. And I mean, if they're currently in season 23, conceivably, I don't know how frequently South Park seasons come out. I know sometimes it's like you get like a couple episodes like in 6 months of the year, and then it's a break, and then you get the other part, and then like the latter like 6 months or whatever. Um, Sometimes like that. I don't know how South Park release usually goes, but conceivably this could be the next 6 years worth of content, or the next 7 years. Well, wait, if you do it semi-annual, next 3 years worth of content, or the next like 7 years worth of content, depending on how you look at it. So I guess doing 14 movies across 7 seasons would mean that you'd have like a double feature or a triple feature collection of episodes every season. Which was, if that's what you really like that kind of storytelling for South Park and you want more of that, and you're in luck.
Yeah. I can't believe it's that old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I guess I do, because I remember it being a big popular thing when I was a kid, and I was just never really into it. Neither of my parents watched it, and I don't have any siblings, so it was like nobody was like a prime instigator for like, oh, let's watch South Park.
I wasn't allowed to watch it. That was like a big no. You're not watching South Park, especially when we finally had cable in the house. It's like, but yeah, 23 years, which. Speaking of long tenured shows like Jeopardy, LeVar Burton was probably the internet favorite to take over the hosting job for Jeopardy, to take the place of beloved and late Alex Trebek, who lost his battle to I would say beat cancer, but still just body was still ravaged from that process. And so, and also, so again, if they weren't going to go with LeVar Burton, sure. I know that's what we wanted on the internet, but there are some other faces that at least would have made sense that have been attached to production longer. Ken Jennings has been a regular champion on that,
Yep.
and he hosted some during the stint of the guest hosting period, so that would make sense. We have it on good authority, and it's been reported by multiple outlets that the front runner is Mike Richards, who's a studio exec within the company, and I didn't even pull a picture of him because it wouldn't have helped. Y'all would not know who I'm talking about. And before anyone says well, sometimes people will create a show and be create a show that they're going to be on. I'm like, yeah, but they usually have experience, doing the thing. You think about all these reality shows that have come up and someone's maybe done the Pawn Stars and things like that, and they produced the show also along with the AMC or A&E that helped create it. It's but they actually are there and have the experience. Alex Trebek, even before he started Jeopardy, had hosted other game shows, had hosting experience. Everyone, I would say the majority of the folks that even came in the guest host have had TV experience at some point, or have had to be a TV personality at some point. Aaron Rodgers, even as an American quarterback, has had to give interviews in front of the press on a regular basis, has probably prepared him better to do this than what's his name, Mike Richards. So I don't get it. Hopefully they will get their head out of their asses and reverse course on this. And again, I know who my favorite pick for it is. I want Burton to do it. I liked his run. Thought it was fun. And if they don't pick him, I won't be hurt if it's not Burton.
He's a good choice.
Yeah.
He has a lot of experience and he's a good choice. Outside of him being LeVar Burton and, the man, he's just as a person with experience who's doing well, who is good at it and is good at that type of thing and is in the public eye and in front of cameras on the reggy deggy and has been for a long time. He's good at it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another example where that would be Drew Carey, Price is Right. It'd be like if somebody else came in there at the last second and swooped in and took that job, and you'd be like, huh? Now, even to Drew Carey's defense, I know there was a little bit of head scratching when he took it, but at least it was okay, comedian, he's hosted Whose Line Is It Anyway? So, and he naturally showed that he's actually really good at the job. He's very good at it. So imagine somebody you don't know, not even Drew Carey, just not even a comedian, just some random senior exec just swooped in at the last minute and took Price is Right. Took over the Tonight Show.
Yeah, right. He's just they're reading the things and they're super nervous while they're doing it. It's why did they let you do this?
It's like someone taking Conan's job and the whole Jay Leno fiasco again, except it's a no name. You'd be rightfully Conan's losing his job to who? Okay, sorry. It just bugs me. I don't get it. Somebody help me out. Hey, but things that we do get, and this show I've not been able to watch, but Steve's been able to, says that it in fact slaps.
Oh, it does indeed. The Bad Batch. We have confirmation on season 2 of the Bad Batch is announced for what's next year? It's 20.
Who knows?
21. Yeah, for 2022. Had a short circuiting of my brain there for a sec. But yeah, it's confirmed that we'll be getting a new season sometime next year. I'm super excited. I've been loving the Bad Batch. I'm having a great time. It's a lot of fun. They were a cool footnote. They were the cool cousin who rode in with a sleeveless jacket, a sleeveless hoodie, sunglasses, and a skateboard. Sometime in Clone Wars, and you're like, wow, that's really cool. I sure wish I can get more info about that. And then basically you get this totally dank story about who they are and what they've been doing. Highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't watched Clone Wars, you should totally do it. And then once you watch Clone Wars, you should watch Bad Batch. You don't have to watch Clone Wars to get Bad Batch, but it's all tied up in the same type of stuff. You should at the very least watch the Star Wars films to have some idea of what's going on in the Bad Batch. But real great show.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't had a chance. I know I committed time early in the pandemic to get done with Clone Wars season 8 when it came out, and finished up Rebels. So this technically this is logically the next thing I need to go get into. I just have not.
Yeah, I'm watching Resistance right now. I like it.
Gotten longer. Yeah,
I like it. So I'm like, we're like halfway through the first season, and there's a sizable amount. There's like a total of 40 episodes. I'm like, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a pretty good run.
But we could have more.
Hey, sometimes it's like you got to know when stuff needs to end. Looking at you, Fairly Odd Parents, because sometimes it's like stuff goes on way too long, and then it ends up being too much of a good thing, and then it becomes a very mediocre thing.
It's not too much of a good thing though. Godzilla versus King Kong.
Hey, now that is true.
Now, if you missed it the first go around, because of the release strategy that's happened with HBO Max, so they had a simultaneous release, and it was available on HBO Max. They eventually dropped off of HBO Max so the theaters can have some uncontested time, and it is now back on the app. So if you didn't get to watch it earlier this year in March, Godzilla versus King Kong was like the first film to kind of get people back in the theaters early this year. I guess you could say Wonder Woman a little bit toward the end of 2020, but really people still weren't going out and just didn't have the vaccine yet. So by around March timeframe, this is the first one of like people go into like 50% capacity, 25% capacity theaters to just try it out. And first one to do really well before we got to like Black Widow and Fast and Furious 9. And it's a monster movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I got what I needed out of it. Yeah,
it's exactly what I wanted. I was like, yo, it would be dope. Be cool to see Big Lizard and Big Monkey fight in the movie, and I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted. It's like the Mortal Kombat film. It's like, what do you want? It's like, I want to see people die in gratuitous fashion. It'd be cool if they also had magic powers, and it's like, done.
Yeah, I got my gratuitous violence this weekend on Suicide Squad. But
nice. Suicide Squad was also good. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Show notes. You want to take this one? Because I'll take the one after.
Yeah. So, fans of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, rejoice! It's not 6 seasons in a movie, but it's 2 seasons in a movie. The musical-based NBC show hit apparently wasn't a hit with execs after it was quietly canceled last year during the pandemic, but thankfully, TV streaming device maker Roku has picked up the show for a conclusion movie, and there's been buzz and talk that if that movie does really well for Roku, they might pick up Zoe for additional seasons.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. Now, if you're wondering, Roku, the Roku system on my TV, or you mean the Roku player is picking up a TV show? What? So Roku does have its own channel, the Roku channel, and they've been trying to add slowly but surely different content pieces on it. You remember Quibi? That dumb idea to watch shorter form TV shows for 10 minutes at a time. Roku saved the shows. They didn't save Quibi. That wise decision, Roku. But they decided to save the shows and flesh some of them out into different things on the Roku channel. And so this is a little less surprising than like another NBC show that got saved by someone out of the blue, like Community getting saved by Yahoo for its 6th season. Of course, we're still waiting on that movie, Dan Harmon, but that's pretty cool. I like it.